Hi, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Women Like Me. I am just over the moon today because I have the lovely Kim Mallory here with me. And Kim wrote in volume 3 of Women Like Me, a tribute to the brave and the wise. And Kim is brave and Kim is very wise. So I'm just going to love this conversation that we're going to have. It's going to be great. Kim wrote, of course, as I said, in volume 3 of Women Like Me. There's 5 volumes right now. We're working on number 6 with another 10 ladies. And Kim's chapter, she's the first chapter in the book, so easy to find her. And her chapter is called 22 Vials, from 60 to zero energy awareness. So, you guys, this is like an amazing story. Kim's life has changed so much since she wrote in the book that I can't even read her bio to you. So we're going to let Kim tell us a little bit about what she's doing because it's exciting stuff. So go for it, Kim. What are you up to these days?
Thank you, Julie. Thank you for having me. I'm super
You're welcome.
excited to be speaking to everybody and talking about my story. So, yeah, so my background and the reason for writing this story is that in 2020 I became critically ill. And the story is like the backstory of how I knew I was getting sick and what happened, like how I ended up in the hospital and all these things. So it's a story that's very vulnerable but also very empowering.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really proud of it. And I've just recently started speaking on this story, like it's a keynote now.
Yes.
And I did my first presentation a couple of weeks ago, and people were laughing and crying, and it
Oh,
was just such a feel good
oh.
event. And so yeah, I thank you so much, Julie, for helping me get that out into the world.
Uh-huh.
So my background, like I said, I got critically ill. I was working as a realtor, and I had noticed some bruising on my legs. Thought that was kind of weird. So went to the clinic and got a blood test. And 5 hours later, I got a call from the doctor. And he said, you need to go to emergency like right away. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is not good.
That must have been
And
terrifying.
yeah, it was terrifying. It was like I
Wow.
was floating outside my body. It's like,
Yeah.
this is how could this happen to me?
Yeah.
Because I'm the one that's like harping on everybody, like no chemicals, eat organic, perfect like health. And I thought it was perfectly healthy, working out and doing all the right things.
Yeah.
But really, I was stressed out. I was working too hard. I had 3 girls, teenagers. We know what that can do to your
Yeah.
system, you know. And I've probably been stressed out for a good like 5 or 6 years. And then
Mm.
I got critically ill. So, I ended up in VGH, and I was diagnosed with bone marrow failure, which is really bad because you
Yeah.
kind of need that to
Yeah.
survive. Um, I was getting transfusions for platelets and red blood. So, that kept me going and, stabilized me. Um, yeah. So ultimately, I ended up in hospital care for 16 months.
Yeah.
The first round of treatment didn't really take, and it was decided that I would need a bone marrow transplant.
Mm.
And my brother happened to be a 10 out of 10 match.
So was
So
it leukemia that you had, Kim? What was the diagnosis?
it was called aplastic anemia,
Oh.
and it's close to leukemia, but it's not cancer. So it's like
Mm.
your blood, your T cells are attacking your good cells, and
Oh,
it's an autoimmune disease
okay.
that causes the bone marrow failure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Kim, I want to back up just a tiny bit because um, as horrible and as shocking as it was for you at to go to the hospital. I just wanted to read this one little bit here that you wrote in your story because I just think it just shows a little bit about your personality and how positive you are. So
Yes.
you say here, the look on my doctor's face. So they were trying to get you into a bone marrow transplant as quickly as possible, or into transfusions as quickly as
Yes.
possible. And it looked like you were gonna have to wait until Monday. And then you say, the look on my doctor's face told me that I would not make it to any appointments on Monday. I didn't have that much time. I was given a form to fill out. And at the end of the form, it asked me if I had any special requests. I wrote down, please don't let me die. I thought it was funny. My husband did not.
Yeah. And now
Aw,
when I read that, it kind of gets me a little teary.
yeah,
But, I've always been like, I've always used humor to kind of lighten the
yes,
mood, right?
yes,
And
yeah,
let me tell you, I I kept that with me
yeah,
throughout my journey in the hospital and all my,
yeah,
treatment,
yeah,
and it got me through,
yeah,
positive attitude and quipping with the nurses and joking about things. I mean, you can't change your situation.
no,
So for me, and it's all about energy awareness too. Like
yes,
I'm acutely aware of like the fact that, hey, I need like all the good energy I can possibly muster up here. They gave me a 70% chance of survival. So I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna like take that up to 100 because 30% of it is on me. I need to
yeah,
make sure that, I'm positive, I'm like accepting of the treatment. And I did a lot of energy work and calling in the prayers, and I had like so many people praying for me.
aw,
And I always felt like this was my journey, was something that I was supposed to go through to
mm-hmm,
get me to a better place in my life.
yeah,
And 100% like I am in a better place in my life.
yes,
And I'm better for what I've had to go through.
yes.
And yeah, it's just as
You,
hard as it was, like it
yeah.
was, I wouldn't change anything.
Well, it must have been like, because this was on a Friday. And you come home, you go and you have these blood tests and you go out to your appointments and you come home and you just want to kick off your shoes and just
Yeah,
like relax, and you get a phone call saying, we need you to come here immediately. So on a Friday, and your doctor's thinking you're not making it till Monday.
right.
And you
So
didn't, and did you,
I'm very lucky because you know what we're like as women, we're like, we'll put it off,
yes, yes,
right?
yes,
And in my case, like I noticed some really weird oddities, like bleeding in my mouth and like a little nick on my cheek, and I just scratched it and got like a line of blood run right down my face, and I'm like,
uh,
that's not right, you
right,
know. And had I like waited, and I had been putting off going to the doctor,
yeah.
but if I'd waited another day or two, like it wouldn't have been a good ending.
No, no, no. Thank goodness you went. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and even I like, even there was an obstacle when you went to go and get your blood test. There was an obstacle because the power went out.
right. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's a funny story because we I have a little lab at the bottom of our hill, and I've
Yeah.
always gone there. And when I got there to get my blood done, the power went out. And I'm in a rush because I'm a realtor. I got
Yeah.
an appointment at 6 o'clock. And you know, I sat there and I'm like, okay, do I go to the lab across town or do I wait here? And in my mind, I thought, okay, patience is a virtue. Just wait it out. Just wait it
Yeah.
out. Lady next to me, she agrees. We're going to wait there. We waited an hour for the power to come back on.
Wow.
And what I found out later that was really spooky was that, and I know this because I have friends that are high up in the field of, I don't know if it's Fraser Health or whatever,
Right.
but the lab that I went to, their samples go directly to our local hospital and they're sampled right away. If I had
Oh.
gone to the lab across town, that lab sends their specimens an hour down the highway. And I wouldn't have gotten the results for like until Monday, basically.
Yeah. Oh my goodness,
So,
Kim.
it was like
Wow.
everything that kind of happened was like divine timing, divine intervention.
Yeah.
It was just,
Wow.
I definitely have guides, angels, like
Yes.
leading the way on this,
Yes. Wow.
yeah,
You know, the other thing that I really got from your story as well, Kim, is when you were saying, just trying to find where I made it out here, where you were saying that that outside, that you were trying to be positive in the hospital and you were doing
yes,
whatever you needed, and you told the doctors, do whatever you need to do. I'm not a complainer, just like get her done. And
yeah,
then, and you were trying to be positive, but outside the hospital walls, my family and friends were falling apart and losing it. And I love how you write in here that one by one, I called each of my family members and told them and they need to switch their process from negative to positive. And then I love also just kind of skipping where you decided to announce it on social media because you have quite
yeah,
a large social media following, a lot of
yeah,
friends, and you officially declared yourself Princess Kim. And after you made the announcement on Facebook, you promptly turned your phone on Do Not Disturb.
yeah.
Like,
I needed to
wow.
do that because, I needed to do that for myself so I could get better. And like I couldn't have people crying on the phone or clients trying to get a hold of me, so I thought, okay, the best way to do this is just to change my name on Facebook so people know like there's something different going on here, you
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
and 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 it worked. Like it was really, you know, it was really nice. Like I didn't get people calling me and the last thing I really wanted when you're that ill, you just need rest,
Yes. Yes.
and yeah, like even having visitors wasn't even on the table. I mean, at that time, COVID was just starting.
Right. You had to deal with COVID through all of that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
In the end, it wasn't a bad thing
No.
because I was isolated and so was everyone else. So
Yeah.
there was no fear of missing out, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it didn't really affect me. Like in some ways, like I had somebody say, why is it when like Kim Mallory goes down, the whole world goes down? And I'm like,
Aw.
I don't know. Sorry,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah. Aw. So also, Kim, so you talk about when you realized, so they started doing testing to because you had to have a transplant.
yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, in the beginning, they tried to jumpstart my system with what they call HATG, and I learned later it was actually chemo.
Oh,
I didn't lose my hair at that point, so it was a different form of chemo,
yeah.
but I had that and transfusions. So we decided to wait to see if that would help, and it did, but I only had partial results,
Mm,
and it was still like when your blood levels are low, you're tired,
yeah.
you can't think, like literally, there's no oxygen going to your brain like it
Mm,
should be. And it's just so many bad things that can
yeah.
happen when you don't have the right levels, right?
Yeah.
So we waited and only got partial results, and like it wasn't a life I would want to live. I could have, but I like to be energetic, and I
Yeah.
like to do things. I don't like
Yeah.
to lie around all day.
Yeah.
So my doctor suggested and recommended that we needed to go to a bone marrow transplant. And my brother was a 10 out of 10 match.
Oh, that's
Luckily,
wonderful. Yeah.
yeah, and he
Yeah.
agreed, and it was not
Oh,
easy. Like they got a liter of his bone marrow, and
ouch.
it's a nasty process.
Yeah.
Had I
Oh,
known how hard it was, I don't know if I could have asked him to do that, but he
oh,
did it, and he saved my life,
yeah.
and I'm
Well,
forever grateful.
what was his recovery time? So,
He's probably out of it for a good 6 or 8 weeks.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, it drained him, and
Mm,
it's very painful, in the
no.
hips and where they go in.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't he did it. I mean, and he said he would do it again if he had to,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I have
Well,
two brothers, three,
yeah.
and my husband, and honestly, like between the three of them, I couldn't have done it without those three men in my
Oh,
life. Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
that's wonderful.
yeah.
And so that took,
So the bone marrow transplant, and so this is another like hoodoo voodoo thing, where when I was diagnosed, and the first day I was in the hospital, um, when I arrived at VGH, it was like February 26th, 2020 type thing. And the day I received my bone marrow was exactly 1 year later
wow.
to the day.
Wow.
Like I'm like, okay, this is my journey.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is so my journey. And
Yeah.
I had really good experiences. When I was in the hospital one day, I decided that I would call in everybody to send me their energy for a meditation that I was going to do at the hospital. Obviously, I was in there for so long.
Yeah.
And I did this meditation. I had everybody send me their energy at like 7 p.m. and I was going to meditate on it for an hour. And I've always had a hard time meditating, like couldn't focus, couldn't concentrate.
Yeah.
And I went into this meditation, and it was like the most mystical, magical experience I've ever had in my
Wow.
life. It was like I
Wow.
was surrounded in a white light. My body was floating off the bed, like, and the tears were like streaming, like happy tears, like it was, the tears were washing away all the bad.
Yeah.
And, even though I was like in such a state of like illness, I felt such joy and gratitude and happiness for, like the people, the love, the doctors, the nurses. And, I still, like, to this day, that experience changed my life to the point where, like, there are no bad days. I wake up every day and I'm like, the sun's shining, the grass is growing, there's flowers in the garden, the hummingbirds. Like, I'm in awe of life now,
Oh,
where
wow.
before I used to run through life, and
Right.
and I was missing everything, all the important
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And, you know, the important things that the things that we think are important in life, you know, when you've had an experience like this, you really reevaluate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, as we were just talking about me going back to my old career in real estate, and sure, I could make, you know, buckets of money and go back
Hmm.
and do what I was doing,
Yeah.
but my heart says, no, don't do
Hmm.
that. That's
Oh,
not what you're supposed to do.
I just got shivers. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And,
Oh.
you know, like, why do we choose, you know, money over what our heart's telling us? Like,
Hmm.
we're so conditioned, right?
Yeah.
And it's not easy saying no to money, because, you know,
Of course.
I like to go on vacation and, you
Yeah.
know, and, you know, help my family and do whatever I need to do. But at some point, you have to draw the line. And for me, it's I need to do what makes me happy now. And
Yeah.
I've learned the lesson. Like, I get it. You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't put through that for nothing. So if
No.
you're gonna go through something like that and you're gonna miss the lesson, the universe gonna like take you down at some point.
Yeah.
You've just got
Yeah.
to say, okay, I hear you, I
Yeah.
get it,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna listen to my heart.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, wow. That is, I know you talked about that in the book as well. But even just hearing you say it now, it just, yeah, I mean, you're so right. We get so caught up with mundane stuff, really, that doesn't mean a hill of beans at the end of the day, most of the
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
And then you're right. We get tied up with that and we miss the goodness.
yes,
You
yeah,
know, yeah, it's sad that you know, someone like yourself has to go through that to learn that. But at least now we all get to listen to your wisdom, and if we're smart, we'll take your advice and we'll start to look at the world a little bit differently before the universe smacks us on the head.
exactly. You know,
Yeah,
and I mean, that's that's why I'm writing and doing the things I'm doing, because I feel like I've been given a second chance. Well, I
yeah,
have been given a second chance, but
yes,
why have I been given a second chance is my
yes,
question. And
yes.
I I feel like I feel like people need to feel like they need to understand how good it feels when you are free of like stress and anxiety, and you
Yeah.
know, like, and 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 living life in the moment,
Hmm.
which is key, right?
Yeah,
And that's why I do what I do, like, because I want people to feel the way I feel, that,
yeah,
you know, they can understand that yes, we can live in joy and happiness and stress free. I mean,
yeah,
I've had to overcome like some major PTSD, and I know it's possible because I've done it, and I've
yeah.
done it myself without having to, you know, take pills or
Hmm.
whatever, right?
Yeah,
And yeah, it's just it's all about the energy, and making sure that your body is like free
yeah,
from energy blockages. Like, we all know when
yeah,
you feel that pit in your stomach,
yeah.
it's not good.
No, no, it's not good.
You
No,
know,
no.
so I work every day to make sure that um I can clear that energy out of my body, and that I'm, you know, got good flow, no anxiety, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, such a such I mean, just a shocking story, really, and and you've handled it, you know, tremendously well. And in terms as well as like taking control, you know, not it's like, okay, I know you're all sad over there, but stop it.
Yeah.
Because you're
Yeah.
just bringing me down. So
Yeah.
I don't want to see,
Exactly.
and turning, and letting your friends and your community know this is what's going on. But for my health, this is what's happening. Leave me alone. I mean,
Yeah. And
yeah,
no bad news stories. Like, I don't want to hear about
yeah,
your friend that, died after
yeah,
their transplant. Like,
right. Yeah,
people love to talk about stuff like that. It's like, no, no,
they
no, no.
do.
We're
They
not talking
do.
about that.
Yeah, yeah. People, well, it's just, I think it just, they try to find something to relate, I suppose. But yeah, the last thing you want to hear when you're told on a Friday that you might not make it till Monday is, oh, well, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, you're smart. Yes, yes. So I know I love the way that you handled that. I really did. And if I can just, touch on something also that you said in the book, it's sort of towards the end. You said, before my transplant, a friend asked me, aren't you afraid? My answer, there is no fear if you don't fear death. I can predict my future, so why fear? I can't predict the future, so why fear death?
Mhm. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's
I know.
that's a that's a place.
It is. And
Yeah.
it took a while to get there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point where I became very angry,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's just part of the process.
Yes. Yeah.
I had a lot of counseling, and I had a lot of hypnotherapy, and I had to learn to clear my mind of all of the, you know, chatter that could
Yeah.
tell you, oh, like, what if,
Yes. Yes.
like, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did a
Oh.
lot of meditating, and when, I was sick, I had a lot of free time,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
And it was quite empowering because I was able to write, I was able to paint, I was able to do all the things that I couldn't do in my old life
Yeah.
because I was too busy,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. So Kim, can you tell us just a little bit about, um, what would your advice be to someone that is, I don't know, not picking up on signs or not feeling right, or I don't know. What would your advice be?
So I really feel like we need to regulate our nervous systems. Like, we're all running on empty.
Mm,
And it's just a breeding ground for illness when you're constantly stressed out.
yeah.
So, you know, I feel like I want people to hear this story and understand that, the outcome for me was so pure and good and real. And it taught me that I need to take care of myself
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
I can't save the world. I can't, I've gotta, we need to put ourselves first.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know if there's any simpler way to put it,
Yeah.
but so many of us don't. We have kids, we have, obligations, we have work, and the stresses of life. Like, I think you either have to look at life as beautiful and wonderful and turn off the news,
Yeah.
create your own happy reality. If you're
Yeah.
out back, you have a garden, go into your garden, walk barefoot. I have a little granddaughter, she's 2.5, and her and I walk barefoot out in the dirt. She hugs the trees, she loves the trees, gives them hugs, gets into
Oh.
nature.
Yeah.
We just are so nature oriented, and
Mhm.
you know, I want her to learn how to be calm. I want her to grow up knowing
Yeah.
how to regulate her system.
Yes.
You know, so she's doing, like, I got her a baby yoga book, and
Oh.
no kidding, like, I put this little book in front of her, and it was like she instinctively knew what to do and
Oh.
started doing all the poses. And
Oh.
she's like a year and a half old, and she's been doing it for a year now, and
Yeah.
she knows like what the downward dog is, you know,
Yeah.
and all the poses, and she does the like this, you know.
Oh, that's
She's
so
two and a
sweet.
half,
Yeah. Oh.
and you know, we need to teach our families how to be calm. We need
Yeah.
to know when there's negative energy in our homes, in
Yeah.
our lives. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, and we need to know how to move it on, move. And we're all made of energy, you
Yeah.
know, and it's so there are so many simple processes to get it moving
Hmm.
and get that out of your body, so you don't have that, you know, tightness in your chest and the pit in your
Yeah.
stomach. And
Yeah.
you know, it's so that's what I'm working with right now, is building my holistic wellness business, and to teach people how to free themselves from, you know, the grips of
Mm.
like life,
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, so when we're finished and once we've got your video loaded up, I just want people to know that there'll be some information in the comment or in the description about Kim, and we're going to have some links. So if somebody wants to talk to you about holistic and energy release and anything else that they might feel that they need some help with, Kim's information will be there, and how to contact her. So Kim, I just want to really thank you so much for a whole bunch of things. Thank you for writing in the book. I appreciated that. I know I reached out to you, and
Hmm.
I know you were quite sick, and that's when you were being Princess Kim. And I wasn't
Yes.
sure. I wanted to reach out, and then I was worried because I thought, oh, she's not well. I don't know if I should. And then you were like almost immediately, hey, yeah, that sounds great. I got time. I'll do that. So I just want to thank you so much for doing that because
Yeah.
it meant a lot to me. And I'm sure that you've helped many women who have read the book. But I also want to thank you for being here and being willing to be very open about everything that happened, and because I believe that that's going to help women as well. And I want to thank you just for the words that you were sharing, because I think you've enlightened me a bit here in our conversation as
Good.
well. And I think
Good.
I don't know if today's the day to walk out barefoot, but I might just do it.
Yeah, you know,
It's
just do
been a
it.
while. Yeah,
Lift those shoes off and
get
just
out
be.
there.
Like
Yeah.
that's what life is. That's why nature's here for us.
Yes.
And that's what
Yes.
life's all about, is just like just be. Like
Just
to
be.
just be. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Kim. And as I said, we're going to have all of Kim's information in the comment section, so you can go down there and have a look, and certainly contact her if you feel the need. So, Kim, thank you again for being here and doing this, and I really appreciate you, and I
Oh,
really
thanks for
appreciate you
having
doing
me,
it.
Julie.
No, you're welcome, Kim. Okay, we'll talk to you soon. You take care.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.